Thank you guys for coming.
You guys responded the way you wanted them, I guess.
Yeah, it's been it's our 4th game in 10 days. It's been a really tough stretch, and obviously coming off that last game, the last 72 hours, I've had a whole bag of emotions, in different ways. But I thought the character of our guys really showed tonight. Even first half, I thought we played really good basketball. They have a little run at the end. They shoot, make a 3 at the buzzer. And it's like it's a 2-point game after how well we shot and played and did. And so I kind of, can we come out in the second half and kind of do it again after the last game and that first half. And I thought the last 18 minutes, 20 seconds, I thought our guys were just tremendous. Thought they were locked in defensively. Thought we shared the ball offensively. Jaden and Mackay, having 10 assists together was a big part of our offense. Them really sharing the ball, and then Dusty making shots, Nana making shots was was important.
You had so many guys step up tonight. I mean, it wasn't just 1 or 2 like Jaden usually but Jaden took over down the stretch tonight.
He was so good, yeah. And I think he had 2 points, maybe with like 10 minutes left or 8 minutes left or something like that. And really credit to his patience. He didn't force shots, and he had 6 assists, and he just played really good basketball. And then the ball found him at the end. He just made some spectacular plays in transition and late in the clock. Getting to the free throw line or and ones. I just really liked his pace, tonight in this game.
Yeah, at second game in a row, I think you pulled him out early and then put him right back in, and he seemed to kind of answer the bell both times. We talk about that.
Yeah, I think in this one, he got an early foul that first possession, and I felt like they were going to go right back to him and try to get a second on him. And our bench is already short, and I didn't think we could afford having him have 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the game. And then offensively, he kind of stood up twice, offensively, and so I want to talk to him about that a little bit too. Jaden, Dusty, Mackay, they have to log a lot of minutes right now, and Brian was kind of limited on his minutes tonight. So Jaden played 35, so in any break I can get him, is good to get him so we can try to close the game in the last 10 minutes.
Dusty, with Caleb being out maybe for a while, is that really big for him to step up?
Yeah, it was really important for him to make shots. It helps space the floor. It helps him not be able to load up, on Jaden and Mackay. So he and Nana's ability, to make threes tonight. They were 7 for 9 together, which is just tremendous. And that really helped spread the floor and open it up more for Jaden and Mackay and Brian.
Coach, the last time you guys were trailing was about halfway through the first half. What changed defensively throughout the rest of the game?
Yeah, we had a hard time at the end getting stops too. We kept fouling them, sending the free throw line, but that's a really good team. They're really good offensively. They have a lot of weapons. Thankfully they missed some of those threes. They had some really good looks that they've made in games that they make. And so much of this game boils down to, does the ball go in for you or does it go in for the other team? And I thought both teams had some the same quality of shot. Thankfully, a lot of our threes went in. Thankfully they missed some, especially in that span in the second half.
You guys did a good job on Fielder. I think he was only like 2 of 9 shooting.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's been playing really well for them. He's coming off some really big games, and their winning streak here. And so I thought FA was really good. FA's presence down low I thought was important on both ends for us tonight.
Yeah, you threw some doubles at him in the first half, and then it seemed like maybe second half a little more just straight up. You talked about kind of the decision that went into both of those.
Yeah, defensively we definitely wanted to be aggressive. I thought they dictated a lot of the game in the first half, especially on offense. I thought our bigs, especially FA, did a much better job, and then Will, I thought, gave us some great minutes defensively. Those guys in the second half I thought were really good.
Coach, as a head coach, kind of how do you temper the emotions after a tough loss? Both Dusty and Nana talked about, like, don't let one loss become 2 losses, etc. Like, as a head coach, how do you kind of temper those emotions after a quick turnaround?
Yeah, it's tough, especially a game like that, but it starts with me, and I talk to the team. I can do things better in those situations, and we'll work on doing things better. And so we had a really good talk and team meeting about it, and we have high character guys. I think we moved on really quick that, hey, let's get better from it and take that approach. And so we worked the last couple of days on some things that we would have wanted to do in a game like that to hopefully, be more prepared. And that's starts with me. And so I thought their mindset was just tremendous, yesterday at practice, today at shoot around, and then when you step out with our crowd, they were excited to get back home and play. I know they're excited to play back in front of our home crowd.
FA a perfect 6 assist, and then on top of that, felt like he had probably 7 or 8 different seals that kind of opened up the paint. Was that something you saw when you were looking into him, or?
Yeah, no, he did a great job, sealing. He did a great job posting, finishing. He's 6 for 6, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and just his overall presence. He's a big body, and as you know, when big bodies hit each other and they're working for positions, tiring. And I think he's gotten a lot better with that. Beginning of the year, he couldn't have played 27 minutes in a game that physical, and so that's a credit to him. Fighting through some fatigue and really being motivated to stay on the court.
And then the turnover second half, you guys were really good at
9. Well, obviously we'll take that every game. Yeah. The ball handling was terrific. Obviously they're really long at defense. They got some of their ball screen coverages early, and I thought especially Jaden, for how much he had the ball the last 10 minutes, I thought he was really solid and made great decisions.
Do you have a final update on Caleb Shaw? Obviously, second row tonight, and then Brian Moore Jr. as well.
Yeah, no update on Caleb. He won't be playing in our next game. We're still getting evaluated and things like that. Brian, we didn't know if he was going to play tonight, and he said he's like playing, and he just really wanted to be out there with his team, and you could tell he wasn't as fast as what he was, in his last game out. You could tell he wasn't as sharp, but man, he really helped us. He was plus 16 and did so many good things out there with his, that great pass to FA for the dunk, and just brought a lot of energy and positive emotion to our team. And so really proud of him. There was definitely a minute restriction there. That's why we were pulling him in and out so much. I thought our training staff did a tremendous job, and our doctors, with what we could and couldn't do with them. And obviously we'll be monitoring him close, still in the future.
One final one from me, Coach. Nana was incredible tonight. He's been incredible all season. And I'm just curious your thoughts on him individually as a defender, and when you kind of look at the awards, is he someone that you think maybe deserves a little bit more credit and consideration?
I love his heart. I love his passion. We have a lot of basketball left. We're only halfway through conference season. And so, you want to finish, your strongest. And so we have a lot of basketball left for our team, for these players. But, I'll just speak to his approach. His approach is so professional, and, whether it's practice, shoot-around games, huddles, he's just locked in, and he wants to compete, and he wants to win. And I think you see that how quick he gets on the floor, how quick he gets the rebounds. He's a player that you love coaching, having on your team.
As a coach, do you ever get worried when guys like Nana are diving on the floor, diving in between people's legs, with already having a short bench? Like, do you ever get nervous when stuff like that happens?
If you do that, you have no chance to win.
Fair enough.
You have to be fearless out there, and you have to play with a high level of intensity, and that's what I love about him and our team tonight is. We've been doing that. Guys have been, Caleb Shaw got hurt. He's putting his body on the line for the team. Brian, playing a lot of minutes and wanting to get back on the court. Got guys are wanting to play for each other, and that's fun to be around.
Keep this focus for Air Force. Will that be hard? Or do you think,
everyone in this league is good. Everyone can beat you on any night, and so we're just excited for a day off. It's our 4th game in 10 days. We're excited to get a day off tomorrow, and then we'll come back, Sunday and really lock in. Every time you get to take the court, it's a blessing. Brian couldn't take it the last 2. Caleb couldn't take it, the last 2. And when you're out there, it's a blessing to be out there.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you, guys.